You might be sharing a home, a bed, a life, but if you don't feel heard or understood in a relationship, it can sometimes start to take a toxic hold of you. Hey guys, depending on which statistics you look at, anywhere up to 50% of married people will cheat at least once in their marriage, with men doing so more frequently than women. Now, this includes a whole range of things from one-night stands to kissing, but either way you look at it, those numbers are crazy. Now, it's important to remember that not all men cheat, but for those who do, understanding the reasons behind it can be enlightening for both men and women. So let's get into it. Reason number 1, sexual desire. Okay, let's just dive right into the reason that often gets a lot of attention. Sexual desire. Now, while it goes without saying that heightened sexual desire is absolutely not an excuse for infidelity, it is a factor that merits a deeper understanding. Men may find themselves seeking multiple partners for various reasons. Life transitions, such as a new job or moving to a different city, can shake up his routine and potentially lead to increased sexual curiosity. Emotional shifts like feeling neglected or undervalued in the current relationship can also play a significant role. And let's not forget the simple yet impactful factor of boredom. A monotonous sexual routine can sometimes push men to seek excitement elsewhere. On top of these individual factors, societal influences can also weigh in. Cultural norms and peer pressure often reinforce the false idea that men should equate sexual conquest with masculinity. This social conditioning can absolutely amplify the urge to cheat, making it an issue that goes beyond just individual desires. Reason number 2, emotional dissatisfaction. Okay, so we just mentioned this with regards to sexual desires, but emotional dissatisfaction absolutely deserves its own spotlight. It's unfortunate, but some men cheat because they feel emotionally disconnected from their partner. And this is a critical point to understand. Imagine, being in a relationship where you're physically present, but you're emotionally distant. You might be sharing a home, a bed, a life, but if you don't feel heard or understood in a relationship, it can sometimes start to take a toxic hold of you. This emotional void can create a sense of loneliness that's hard to shake, even if everything else in the relationship seems to be going well. Sex at that point with your partner can feel, perfunctory, and while that may satisfy the sex drive part of your brain, it may leave a gaping hole in other desires such as deep attachment, which also need to be nurtured. In such situations, men might seek emotional validation from somewhere else. It's not necessarily about finding a new partner, but about finding a missing piece of themselves. They might engage in an affair to feel valued, to feel appreciated, or simply to experience a connection that they're not getting at home. Emotional dissatisfaction is, it's complicated and often requires deeper introspection and in some cases, professional guidance to fully understand. Reason 3, self-sabotage. Now, it might be hard to believe, but some men cheat as a form of self-destructive behavior. Now, you might be wondering, why would anyone sabotage something that's important to them? Well, the reasons can be complex. For some, cheating serves as a catalyst to force a more honest and open dialogue between them and their partner. It's like setting off a fire alarm to finally get everyone's attention. In these cases, the act of cheating could be a desperate attempt to address underlying issues that have been ignored or brushed aside. For others, self-sabotage through cheating might be a way to exit the relationship. Instead of confronting the issues head-on or initiating a breakup, they cheat as a way to make a decision easier or to give their partners a reason to end things. It's also worth considering the psychological aspects here. Some men might not even be fully aware that they're engaging in self-sabotage. They might be acting out patterns from past relationships or childhood experiences that have left them with a fear of intimacy or commitment. Reason 4, preserving the relationship. Now, this might initially sound counterintuitive. Preserving the relationship? Yeah, you heard that correctly. Some men actually cheat as a way to keep their existing relationship going. Imagine being in a long-term relationship that has its ups and downs like any other. You've built a life together. Maybe you have kids, a house, a shared history. Leaving a long-term relationship means leaving a whole life behind, which you may not be willing to do. But there's something missing, something else that you crave that you're not getting from your partner. It could be emotional or physical or even intellectual stimulation. Some men will cheat to fill that specific void without disrupting the life that they've built with their partner. The idea is, by seeking what's missing elsewhere, they can maintain the sense of equilibrium in their primary relationship. It's a way to basically have your cake and eat it too. Now, this approach to cheating is fraught with moral and ethical dilemmas, of course. It raises questions about honesty, integrity, and the very definition of a committed relationship. However, the underlying motivation is often a desire to preserve what is in many ways a meaningful relationship to them. It's a complicated rationale, but it can be difficult to understand, especially for the person who's been cheated on. But understanding this reason can be the first step in addressing the underlying issues that lead to such drastic actions. And last but not least, reason 5, opportunity. Sometimes the opportunity to cheat just presents itself and the man gives in to temptation without fully considering the consequences of his actions. It could happen during a business trip, or at a party, or even just through social media interactions. The setting may vary, but the common thread is a momentary lapse in judgment. It's not always premeditated. Sometimes it's a moment of weakness that leads to a regrettable decision. This type of cheating can be particularly perplexing for both parties involved. For the one who cheats, it might bring about feelings of guilt and confusion and questioning why they acted against their better judgment. For the person who has been cheated on, it can be especially hurtful, as it just shatters the notion of trust seemingly out of the blue and for no real meaningful reason. So there you have it, 5 reasons why some men cheat. Remember, understanding these reasons is not the same as condoning them. The aim here is to foster a more nuanced conversation around the topic that affects many relationships. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more relationship content.